What's going on, comrades? Welcome to the Vanguard. We appreciate you guys checking into our first video for our YouTube channel launch. We are a Marxist organization dedicated to the revolutionary empowerment of working people. We are lowly proles that feel that it is our mission and duty to organize, educate, and mobilize the working class on the principles of and based on Vanguardism, democratic centralism, Juche independence, and, of course, institutions of dual power. We want to do all of this to improve our communities, to organize our communities, but ultimately to begin the foundations of actually creating a true workers' party that represents working people in this country. Something completely separate and outside of the liberal bourgeois establishment that more often than not tends to hijack movements and whatnot. This channel unapologetically encourages workers to legally arm, prepare, and remain vigilant against the rising tide of fascist violence and capitalist tyranny that we're facing, not only in our workplaces, but in our legal institutions and all of our economic institutions of power as well. Now more than ever, Americans are waking up to the lie that capitalism has told them. They're waking up to the lie of what a bourgeois democracy or the republic that they've told us. They're waking up to the lie that that's not really real and that we really just live under a dictatorship of the rich, a group of bankers, multinational corporations, the list goes on. It can clearly be seen that both sides are the same thing, because in the 2020 election, despite with all the liberal cheering and all the misguided exuberance going on and confidence, Biden barely beat Trump. It looks like he won big in the Electoral College, but if you really look at it, Trump still got like 72 million votes. If you look at down ballot races, anybody who wasn't very progressive, very leftist leaning, if you weren't for Medicare for all, if you weren't for raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, if you weren't for those type of programs, you lost. It's very easy for the country to look at Biden and say that, oh, well, everybody's moving to a more centrist thing because Biden won. That's not the case, though. That's more of a product of everybody hating Trump that bad that they voted for him. And you know, the DNC has really done nothing. They haven't put out any bold economic vision. They haven't put out any plan that can seriously tackle the climate change. Nobody is even mentioning automation. In the next 15 to 20 years, changes in the labor relations and productive relations in this country are going to change the political and social landscape and increase poverty to an extent that really can't even be understood yet nobody's really talking about it, especially the liberal elitists that just sell us out to the rich. And that, under Trump and Biden, companies like Halliburton, KBR, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, they're going to continue to fight illegal wars for profit, send our sons and daughters to die for nothing, make the whole world hate us, starting wars totally based on lies, not a stitch of truth to them. Those are the people that run the show under this system. It just doesn't matter who wins, left, or it doesn't matter who wins, red or blue. The capitalist class wins and the working class loses. Bankers, fossil fuel companies, multinational corporations, and defense contractors. It's for the reasons that we've mentioned here just briefly. That the Vanguard, that we believe it is absolutely necessary to organize outside of democratic or even, I dare say, even progressive circles. Because I just find that all too often, these organizations and even my own, brothers and sisters, my own neighbors who support them, they oftentimes support the implementation of decisions and policies that are only half measures, that aren't going to even go anywhere. They're not going to fix the problem. They're not going to improve us. It's not going to help us evolve to the next stage of human development, which is clearly upon us. And I want to say this too. Also, here on this channel, we we are strong supporters of existing socialist states. The Vanguard opposes all forms of capitalist imperialism. That includes throwing over Mr. Evo Morales, which, by the way, congratulations, being allowed back to your country and whatnot. I think that's awesome. To any other existing socialist state that's fighting capitalism and fighting worldwide imperialism. So we've told you what we are, but who are we? My name is Michael. I'm not a political science major. I'm not a professor of economics. I'm not a healthcare CEO. I'm definitely not from a wealthy or well-connected family. I'm just a lowly pro who, like many of you, are tired of having the vast majority of what I produce stolen from me and given to a class of people who do nothing but take from me and make it hard for my family to survive. I'm a former right-wing capitalist soldier who, for the majority of my life, has aided and supported the dark will of the billionaire class. I'm ashamed to say it. It wasn't until I was 27 and had a career and developed lifelong relationships that I came to the conclusion that it was a lie, that I had been lied to. And listen, more and more people are waking up to those lies of capitalism and the ideologies that it espouses. I found that for me, as a Christian and a veteran, it was a very difficult road to abandon capitalism, to abandon conservatism, and even what I identified as was a libertarian. I had been taught my entire life to believe that my faith and my service to the country made the beliefs and the objectives of socialism, that they were completely anathema to my beliefs, to my worldview. But of course, that was a lie, and that was a journey. And that journey has led me to where I'm at right now. And a lot of people are curious. I oftentimes have a lot of people ask me, how are you a Christian and a socialist, and how does that work out, and how do people react to you? And honestly, that's a much more nuanced subject. I'm going to make a video for that later. But this channel is here to help people who are on that journey and on that road and waking up to the lies. For people who may not be totally well versed in Marxist theory, but are definitely committed to the knowledge that capitalism is a lie and a disease that has to be excised for the host to live. There's just no other way to say it. In a world of increasing political instability, economic and environmental collapse, and the desperate acts of an empire in decline, now more than ever, the socialist left needs to commit itself to organizing and coordinating and building its organizations to convert our political will into political power. The 20s, this decade is going to be a fundamental decade that brings changes that for reasons we're going to discuss in the future, provide a unique opportunity to the left right now. We here at the Vanguard, we're going to use our voice to spearhead that effort right here in Northeast Florida. In addition to putting out YouTube content and videos, and while doing that, we're going to be interviewing local activists, because one thing we're really passionate about is seeing what's going on right here on the ground in local communities. So we're going to be interviewing a lot of activists. We'll be interviewing people from a broad spectrum of things, just to get all ideas and to see what's going on in the community. Beyond that, the Vanguard will begin local weapons training. A lot of people on the left are just now beginning to see the violence on the right and beginning to realize that we are not safe. And the Vanguard wants to use our past and our ability with weapons to teach people responsible weapons handling and ownership, self-defense training, community defense, and collective mutual aid. So yeah, that's where we're at, guys. Do us a favor. Leave some comments down below. Let us know what you're doing in your area. Let us know what your orgs are working on. If you have any tips, advice, any questions, comments, or snide remarks, please go ahead and leave them in the comments below. But before you do that, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and so you can see all of our current content or our future content coming out. All right, comrades, brothers and sisters, you guys be safe. Solidarity. The Vanguard out.